The grift is that we're not in an ideology war, Andrew. Is that
Oh,
people
okay.
don't need this thing that
Oh,
you're saying that
gotcha.
you're telling them that we
Gotcha.
need.
Okay, so let's find out if we're in an ideological war or
All
not.
right.
Let's start with
I think
this.
that we
Do
are.
you believe that I'm saying things which I don't believe? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think that you.
Okay, can you
I
tell me
think
what those things are?
that we're in an ideological war and that we're
Okay,
in an
yeah.
ideological war zone.
I understand that you disagree with that, but the thing is that if that's the case and you think that I don't believe that,
Yeah.
I don't believe that. It doesn't matter what you believe. I don't care if you believe we're in an ideological war or not. In order to demonstrate I was a grifter, you'd have to demonstrate I don't believe that, right? Can you
Yes.
demonstrate I don't believe that?
Yeah.
How?
You
Show me. Show me. Demonstrate it.
can, with the exaggerated language in your course and the way that you conduct yourself online, I think that's a clear indicator that you don't actually believe this. You only believe it when it comes to under threat of your pockets.
So
That's
let me get
why
this.
we're here.
So I would think so. If I was going to try to disprove, for instance, that you didn't believe the ideology that you believed, which I'm sure you do believe the ideology you believe. I have no reason to doubt that you believe the things that you believe, right? I have no reason to doubt that. But if I was trying to debunk that you believe these things, I would look for inconsistencies in the things in which you said to people and the way in which you said them and the various context around those things in order to prove that you yourself didn't actually believe those things. If it is the case that everything that I spout, I believe, right? And you can't demonstrate that I don't, how in the world could you ever make the positive claim that I don't believe we're in an ideological war? Because, lady, I very much do.
If you genuinely believe that we're in an
Hmm.
ideological war,
Yeah.
then then you're less intelligent than I thought that you
Oh,
were.
gotcha. But then it
That's what
wouldn't,
I mean, but I don't think that
but it
you
wouldn't
are.
be a grift, but it wouldn't be a grift, right?
No, if you were genuinely that stupid and you truly believed it, then that
Uh-huh.
wouldn't be a grift. That would just be an idiot.
So then what you actually mean to say is Andrew's not a grifter, he's just stupid.
No, I think that you're a grifter. I don't think that
Okay,
you're
so then
stupid.
can you demonstrate that I don't believe that there's an ideological battle going on between the left and the right?
How many times do we have to circle around with this? I think that your intentional use of certain language and framing is a big piece of that, but also the way in which you conduct yourself through these informal
Do
debates.
you
I think
think so I this is what I fail to understand. Isn't my entire job, if I was an ideologue, to use rhetorical flourishes, logic, and other similar debate tactics in order to move my ideology out there? Wouldn't that be exactly what you would expect from an ideologue?
yeah, if you were just moving your ideology out there and you
Yeah.
weren't monetizing off of it,
Yeah,
then I
but
would
I
know
don't
you're
understand.
a grifter.
Who makes what poor people can move their ideology out there? Hey, can you name a single poor person of note who can move their ideology, or is it all the people who are in control of ideological warfare? People have a massive war chest of money, which is actually true.
I mean, everything does start from a grassroots movement. It's not everybody
No,
just comes
no.
and
See, this is
steals
where you're
money.
ignorant. Almost nothing starts from a grassroots movement. Almost everything starts from what's called a non-government organization or an NGO. And
Okay.
NGOs actually create influencers who they pretend are grassroots activists when they're really not. There hasn't been probably an actual grassroots campaign in the United States probably since the formation of the Tea Party, not the original one in the late 1700s, but the most recent Tea Party. That had some grassroots elements to it. But you're incorrect here. Almost every single grassroots movement you can cite right this second probably has an NGO funding it. Now, you think that I'm wrong or I'm telling you something which is untrue that I don't believe? Name a single grassroots movement and let's see if there's an NGO funding it. I'm ready.
I don't know if that's I'm sure I'll just believe you on that. But again, I don't think that you're being honest with what you say that you believe. I don't think that you really believe that we're in an ideology war.
Yeah, but the thing is like right now it's on you. The burden is on you to demonstrate how it is that I don't believe this. The only thing that you've been able to do is say Andrew uses language I disagree with when he sells products. Like, okay,
No.
I guess that's fair enough, but to make a claim that I'm not pushing a specific ideology and a specific worldview is absurd. I push it all the time, nonstop. Now, it's fair for you even to say then but I don't believe that you believe it. But I really need a little bit more evidence than just, well, you sell a debate university, which you make money from, which, yes, I do make money from, that people asked me to put together. I had no intention of even doing it. This was a massive request from my audience that I do this because, and by the way, the reason I didn't want to do it is I didn't want to take the time off of work to spend the weeks that were required to do it. But I did, and it worked out okay. I was lucky, I guess, in that regard. But I would like to know, like, Andrew, here's the portion of your ideology that you espouse that you don't believe this and that. Just saying, well, you have debate university and you line your
You
pockets with
don't
it.
believe that we're in an ideological war, Andrew.
Oh, you don't believe that. I don't believe that. Do you understand how absurd that is? If I say you don't believe that, I don't believe that, have we gotten anywhere?
If you want to take the position that you are genuinely stupid enough to believe that we're in an ideological war, then I guess I can't stop you.
Oh, well, I think if you're going to take the position that you're genuinely stupid enough to believe that we're not, then I just don't know what to tell you. Do you see how that gets us nowhere? Oh, you're stupid. No, you're stupid. No, you're stupid. No, that guy over there is stupid.
I don't think you're stupid, Andrew. That's why I'm saying this. I don't think you're dumb enough to actually believe that we're in an ideological
actually believe
war.
That you are dumb enough to think we're not. Yes, there's an ideological war in the United States. There has been an ideological war in the United States since the drafting of the Articles of Confederation. There's been an ideological war between the Christnats of the time and the state. And I can't even, diving into the history of what happened between just the Articles of Confederation and the ratifying of the Constitution to feminism. Yes, we've been in an ideological battle for hundreds of years, and it's been very prominent the last 70 years. Very, very prominent. I have no idea how you could ever look at the mass polarization in the United States around issues like guns, the First Amendment, even the Third Amendment, which recently come out, the ideas of executive power, what's going on with the judicial branch, and pretend that there's not massive divides in ideology, just in voting patterns and how people respond to things. And it seems like the only argument you have is, well, yeah, but I talk to people and stuff, Andrew, so, you know.
Yeah. Andrew, you don't believe that we're in an ideological war, and you have entered this space. To my knowledge, you entered the whole debate space in 2021 when there was already a huge trend in this sort of, I don't want to call you just innately red pill, but in this sort of, we'll say, just bro debater online experience. Once that had really kind of skyrocketed in 2020, that's when it really rose to prominence. During COVID, you joined the space, as far as I can tell, in 2021 because you saw the money behind it, and now you've decided to just engage with what is essentially just this new version of reality TV. That's all that this is.
Okay, so I will elucidate your ignorance again. I got into this space by complete accident. I didn't ever want to do any streaming. That was never a goal of mine, ever even once. I had a happy career. And I made plenty good money at that career. I was a robotics mechanic.
Okay.
And I had I made plenty of cash. Okay. I mean, I wasn't rich, nothing like that, but I made decent cash. I had no way ever of knowing that I would become a prominent debater nor influencer. I have no formal debate training whatsoever, right? The reason that I got into this is sheerly by accident. I was pissed off at progressives who are ideologically different from me during the lockdowns and the things that they were doing. And so I began arguing with them online. I did not realize that many people would gravitate towards the things that I said. It was a happy accident. You, on the other hand, purposely go out and are looking for a career in comedy. At least I have the saving grace of saying I accidented myself into this. This was never a plan of Andrew Wilson's at all. And you can look at the early content to prove it. I said it multiple times. Just do this for fun. Right? I would get off of work and I would do 3 debates in a night. I hate these people. I do. I hate progressives like you can't imagine. I loathe them. For you to say that that's not the idea of ideology and that I wasn't in an experience of ideology when Michigan lockdowns were going on is absurd. And it's so disingenuous. And also, quite frankly, it's very stupid. That's the most ideologically loaded time in history, at least in the history of a man who's 41 years old. especially what was going on with the COVID lockdowns.
Maybe at one point you accidentally were, found yourself in it, but you realized how much money you could make from it and how much money you could make from stoking these fears that people have and from engaging with online bimbos and from doing these gotchas. And that's what brings us here to the whole
maybe at one point you really love the idea of comedy, and then you realize that there was a bunch of money in it, and so you're going to make politically correct jokes and you're going to go after red pillars because you think it'll get you notoriety. But you really lost the mission that you had, which was to go after comedy for the fun of comedy. Now what you're really after is just trying to demonize the people around you because you're a grift. Do you see how stupid this is? Like, yeah, exactly. It's just untrue. And the reason I wouldn't come at you with things like that, with trying to ascribe your motivation for things which are untrue, is because it's impossible for me to discern your motivation without evidence. The thing of which you have provided none of. All you've done has been like, I'm incredulous and Smokey Man bad. That's basically all you've given us tonight.
I don't give a shit that you smoke, Andrew.
You give a shit that I'm bad.
I give a shit that you're grifting people. Yeah. I give
I wish one day you would demonstrate the grift is all.
I mean, I don't know how many more ways you want me to say it. I think that you're being disingenuous. I think that you're only focused on the money with this, and that that stoking the flames that people have of being angry online is a great way to make money.
Look, I completely agree with you that it requires a war chest in order for me to continue to battle. And by the way, the thing is that I have bought myself some nice luxury recently based on what I make online, and I'm going to buy myself even more nice because I'm a very entertaining guy that people like to watch, right? I'm a very entertaining guy. People like to watch that sort of entertainment. What can I say? They send me a lot of money and I enjoy spending it. They're going to send me a lot more tonight and I'm going to enjoy spending that. But that doesn't mean that these are mutually unexclusive concepts, that I can't believe what I believe and happen to be a successful enough entertainer to monetize that as well. By the way, most of these highly successful people do the exact same thing. They monetize the thing that they're really good at, but that doesn't mean they don't believe it.
Well, I mean, I will say from my own personal experience, when I was at the Whatever podcast, I watched the cameras roll and I watched everybody assume a character. And then as soon as the cameras cut, all of the attitudes in the room changed. Everybody just took on their actual real persona, including your boy, Brian Atlas. And it all just went away. And everybody was a completely different human person.
Tell me something, because I've had similar experiences there, right?
Yeah.
Except with myself. I was the exact same person walking in as I was on camera.
Well, you weren't there that day.
And that's never, and by the way, that's never changed. You ask the women who are there. It's the exact same way off camera as I was on camera. The difference is that when you meet with people for the very first time, you sit down and you start talking with them, you talk about things that don't matter. So, for instance, before you actually went on and the camera started rolling, were you guys discussing abortion, trans issues, feminism, or were you talking about things like who had the nicest nails and what type of shirt you were wearing? Because it's a big difference when you sit down at a table and you're discussing actual issues that matter to you. And if you're discussing superficial issues before the show starts, isn't there?
Well, but I can say that after the show, when the cameras cut and the girls started laughing and were like, damn, yeah, it is going to be a good night. I'm going to make a lot of money on my respected thing, from the people who were hate watching and from the people who were supporting what they were saying.
Yeah, and I've been in studio many times where the cameras roll off and women storm out. They're so enraged they can't see straight. I've seen women attack me multiple times in studio. That's happened to me multiple times. Right. And they weren't funning. So the thing is like, it is possible that there's going to be some people who have nefarious agendas who go on to shows like this in order to promote themselves, like I feel like you're doing right now. Doesn't surprise me. But the thing is that doesn't mean that there's not many who aren't actually ideologically invested in the things they believe and want to discuss them. And I've met many genuine women who've gone on the Whatever podcast who want to do just that. Are there some trolls? Sure. There's some people who are there only to market their. I'm sure that's true too. But are there also people who genuinely believe in the issues and want to discuss them? Yeah, there are.
I think that's far and few between.
Well, that's nice that you believe that. You've been on once. I've been on 100 times. So